can I ask Kamaljeet Jandu to say a few words, please? Kamaljeet is a very active member of our executive committee and also a very senior member of GMB unions. So please say a few words.
Thank you very much, Izzad. Sisters, brothers, thank you for this opportunity. I didn't realise I was going to speak, but the 2 minutes that I have, there are a number of messages that I do want to get across. If all of us here ask ourselves, why are we here, not in our countries of origin? We came here, our parents, our grandparents came here because we were invited here to work in industries that they had labour shortage and a skill shortage. Our people kept the garment and tailor industry up in north, with people from Mirpur kept that industry going. People from Punjab kept the foundry industry in the Midlands going. Our NHS is run by our people. Our doctors come from the Indian subcontinent. So our contribution is not marginal or negligible. It's as strong as any other community that came before us, whether the Irish or the Jewish or anybody else. So we have a history. We have a right to be here. There are those who say that we should be in other parties, but other parties do not have power. And the Labour Party is the only party, and Gordon Brown is the only person that is dealing with the question of creating jobs. Keep making sure that people stay in jobs, and making sure that the bankers that took our taxes and stuck one finger up at us when we said you can't have extra bonuses, Gordon Brown is the only one that's dealing with those issues about creating jobs. Because when our communities and our children have a job, they can go and buy things, they can consume, and therefore keep the economy going. And that's the message of the Labour Party. Yeah. And that's why we are at the core of the party. Yeah. And that's why every one of us should be out there to make sure that we return Gordon Brown to the fourth term.
Hey.
Thank you.
Can I ask you both to leave, if you don't mind? I'm going to invite some other. No. Can I ask Patrick and Dr. Raj? And then I will ask Elizabeth. we just, yeah.
Shall I speak for 2 minutes?
Yeah.
Sure.
2 minutes.
Sure.
2 minutes. So now I'm going to request our another executive committee member, who is, as you heard, a consultant and a very active member of our executive committee, Dr. Raj.
Good afternoon. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. I would like to say 3 important things. One is having worked as a doctor in NHS for 14 years in 25 different hospitals, I want to exactly echo what my colleague Kamaljeet said. Today, 35% of the workforce in the National Health Service is black ethnic minority, and we are proud about it. And the important thing for NHS is, this coming elections is not just about choice between 3 political parties or 3 political ideologies. So when it comes to NHS or health policy, it's completely 3 different directions for the country. And I'm proud to say that we are the party of NHS. We represent NHS. We formed NHS. We revived NHS. We will always protect NHS. Now, there are 3 important issues which NHS is facing today. Number 1 is aging population. Number 2 is 20 billion pounds of efficiency savings have to be made in the National Health Service. And I think, under such circumstances, we are the only party that can protect and revive the NHS. And anything, just let me tell you in one word why a conservative government would be a disaster for the National Health Service. Now, if you look at the manifestos very carefully, a very key important difference between the Conservative manifesto and Labour manifesto is we say we would go to a private healthcare provider as a last choice, whereas the Conservatives would go to a private healthcare provider as a first choice. And we all know the impact of privatization of healthcare, like what happened in United States. I mean, 1/3 of the population doesn't have access to good quality healthcare or even proper insurance. So I think ladies and gentlemen, it's important that everyone supports Labour Party, and we need a Labour 4th term to protect and revive the NHS. Thank you.
Very good. Thanks very much. The next speaker is Councillor Patrick Vernon, who is also member of our executive committee, and he got a lot of experience in this field. So Patrick, why we should be supporting Labour?
Okay, good afternoon everyone.
2 minutes.
I've got 2 minutes. Good afternoon everyone. I actually work in health. I'm not going to talk about health because I think my colleague covered those points. I'm going to talk about local government and why you should support Labour for local government. If you can cast your mind back when the Conservatives were in power over 20 years ago, can you remember what happened locally where you live, in the communities? Local authorities were actually starved of money. They weren't allowed to build council properties, and actually there was a massive underinvestment in youth and community services. And if you can look around today, in your communities where you live up and down the country, local government has been given extra money to support initiatives around decent homes, extra money to support stuff around youth and community activities, extra money around stuff around regeneration and creating more jobs and more opportunities, and more importantly, supporting the voluntary sector and creating social enterprises. All these achievements have been made under Labour government, and if you look at all the policies in terms of the Lib Dems and the Conservatives, if you can remember, David Cameron talked about this big society. What do you mean by this big society? It means nothing at all. It means more toffs having more money to do things that they would like to do. That's his definition of a big society. And if you look at what we're doing, we talk about society and communities. And that's why you have to support Labour, knock on doors, support your local councillors. We have the largest number of BAME councillors in the country. We want to build on that. So I think it's very important that we encourage more people to join councils in terms of particularly more women and particularly ethnic minorities, because councils are the backbone of the Labour Party, and often we're not valued or recognised, but we play a key role day in, day out, make a difference in local communities. So that's why you have to support Labour. Thank you very much.
Well done, well done. Can I also invite Councillor Rangzeb, please, and Elizabeth? Can you please both come and say a few words? Next time, you are next after that. No, just a few words. Elizabeth. I know, I'm so sorry. Right. Who want to go first? Elizabeth. Just say
a few words.
Councillor Elizabeth, please, a few words about your campaign and why should we support Labour? Why the community who is going to watch this program, should support Labour?
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, one and all. In the first place, you're here today, which means you are the converted, you're all Labour members. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. Now, short of being accused of having to repeat what everyone else has said, I would just say, first of all, for those of you, and all of you, who are Labour Party members, to go out and galvanise all of the community, each and everybody, knock on every door. Explain to them the work that we have done in the last 13 years and what we hope to do. And that, Gordon Brown is the only Prime Minister that the country is safe in his hands. That's all you need to go out to tell people, make them understand the huge work we've done, and to give us another 4 years opportunity to do more of the work that we set out to do. So galvanize your communities, get Labour elected on the 6th of May. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Well done. Very precisely on time.